West Side, worldwide. Welcome to Story Time with OG LA Ron. Please don't forget to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. Go to the website and buy the merch. Today, I want to do a piece on a guy that a lot of times we don't have a chance to talk about guys out of Boston, but I've been getting a lot of comments, and they ask me that I know anybody out of Boston and do a story on the Boston gangsterism. I'm doing a piece on a guy named Sean out of Boston. I don't know his last name, but this is a guy, man, that I ran into on the way back from Oklahoma. We was on the bus together, and I heard the accent of this guy, but I never really knew the accent of a Boston guy because I seen the movie Town where a lot of these guys they used to rob armored car trucks, but I don't know what Sean was in jail for. But to tell a story about a guy from Boston, they the real deal, and this is one I met. I met another one named Brother Leroy, and I met a few of them, man, that was really from Boston. And just to talk about being able to talk about, I talk about guys from Buffalo, I talk about guys from New York, I talk about guys from Maine, but today this is on Sean from Boston. Now, how did I get familiar with Sean? When I leaving Leavenworth, I was going to Lompoc, and he was on the bus, and he was talking to some other guys from Philly and different things, but he had a different kind of accent. So when we got to Lompoc, they kind of like took us in R&D. Then we went to the unit, and they put Sean in the unit that I was in. I think Sean had just came back from court for another case he had picked up somewhere else, and they put him in the M unit, and he was in the M unit with us, and he used to sit on the middle tier, and he used to do a lot of workouts and stuff like that. But he always talked with this certain type of this Boston swagger and talk, and he always used to, be level-headed. He always used to, make sure he was ready because it was a lot of racial tension going on there, and Sean used to always tell his other guy, man, stay away from that TV, man. You be starting problems. So I seen Sean get into it with some white boys over the TV, and they straightened it out. So Sean ended up going to the hole, and I don't know if I was still back there or this was right before I went. I had heard that the deuces went off, and then the more deuces, and they locked us down. And while we was locked down, they say, man, that was Sean and his celly. And I was like, wow, man. And the ambulance came and they took out a CO on a gurney. And it was a real big commotion about what had happened because when they was in the back, somebody was catcalling this lady. This lady used to wear tight khakis, and she had a nice shape on it. She was a white lady, looked like she was in the Matrix. And a lot of people used to be catcalling her, and she was really listening to these guys and getting her in their feelings. So she went to this wrong cell and said that, which one of you guys said something about me? And while she was talking crazy to the guys in the cell, I didn't know later on that was Sean himself. And while she was talking, she was putting her hand on top of the top of the cell, and it looked like she was saying, "Open the door." And when they opened the door, somehow she ran into the cell and tried to fight these two guys. And then the police ran in there and beat the guys up, handcuffed them, and four-cornered them. And while they was in the four-corner cell, the other part of the shoe, they was beating every shift they would come in and check the handcuff. This is a tactic that they use to get back at you in the feds. They would four-corner you, and where you couldn't, for 48 hours, where you couldn't do nothing. You shit and piss on yourself if you didn't have nowhere to use the restroom. So When they ran in there every shift, they would run in there and check the handcuffs and tighten them up and beat them up, hit them on the face. And the other guy, I guess he was hollering out, and he say, Sean, say, shut up, fool. This is how it operate in here. But I know these guys. The rumor was, these guys was falsely accused, and we end up seeing these guys. They went to trial, and I think Sean copped out. Another dude went to trial. He got more time than the guys that actually supposed to have really did something. But it came out in the newspaper that these two guys had caught more time inside of the prison, and I think this was Sean's second time catching time in the prison. So a lot of us, we put together and sent Sean stuff back there. But this guy, man, he's the real deal. I know he was from Boston, and I know the Boston guys, when they hear this story and they hear about what Sean did and what he went through, they're gonna be proud of Boston because Boston stand up because this guy, man, was a real deal. This is one of the stories that I do have on a guy from Boston, and his name is Sean. I couldn't tell you his last name, and I don't know his last name, but I know that everybody from Boston, everybody in the federal system that knew him or heard of him, that this guy was from Boston. And I just wanted to document that this guy did his thing in the federal system. He known all through Lompoc. He's a legend in Lompoc. And they had the other guys that was from the movie The Town, and they played handball all the time. I think Sean used to be out there playing handball with him. And I ended up running into the other guy that was the guy that was in the movie that was in Victorville with us. And a lot of guys knew this guy. He was famous for the movie, and they had to build a bridge to go across because a lot of time when a truck go through the street, they would get robbed. But this movie was called The Town. Ben Affleck was in it. I think it was Ben Affleck. But man, I done met some real dangerous guys out of Boston. I can't remember the other guy that was in our unit that ended up catching a body. That was they sent him to ADX because if you catch a body in a prison, even though it was self-defense, they still have to put you in ADX to isolate you to discipline you. But man, just talking about Sean and the way he carried himself and the way these Boston guys is, because one thing about California, you have people all over the United States, and when they get to Lompoc, they see the gang culture and they see the culture of a lot of the Italians that's from New York and a lot of Vegas Italians, because they keep a lot of those guys in California prisons, Los Angeles, and that's where I met Coromine and all the guys. But this guy, man, I don't really know too much about Boston, Maine. The only time I ever been down there is on an airplane. But just to put this thing in perspective, Sean is the real deal. The Boston and Brother Leroy. I just wanted to be able to tell a story about some Boston guys, and if you ever do time with some Boston guys, you'll know that they are the real deal, and they don't play games. And it's just something about the toughness from the Irish guys. I think there's a lot of Irish and Italians that's inside of Boston. And just to talk about, being able to talk about a guy that's a legend in the feds, being able to talk about a guy that was in my unit. He was in unit with all the guys, Crips, Bloods, and he had an opportunity to, put his swagger to the test, and he passed all the tests. And when he see this video, he remember me, and he remembered that the thing he went through in Lompoc with the COs and getting more time. I hope he's out of jail now, but I think they gave him about 10 years. I'm not for sure, but this is one of the main stories that happened while we was in M Unit. We seen a lot of things going in M Unit, and this is one of the stories, and this is one of the guys that's kind of like stuck out to me. Baltimore, Boston, Massachusetts, Boston. They have some tough boxers come out of Boston, but just to let everybody know about Sean, y'all have a real guy was real serious, real about business, And I know Sean gonna go foreign life. Sean from Boston.